Hey Archie, are there certain things that most millionaires in America have in common?
Well, Rob, yes, surprisingly there are. Let's talk about it. I'm Archie Hoxton,
And I'm Rob Hoxton.
and this is Last Paycheck, weekly wisdom to help you retire and stay that way. Welcome back to the Last Paycheck podcast, brought to you by Hoxton Planning and Management. We're your hosts, CFP professionals Archie Hoxton and Rob Hoxton, and today we're going to talk about the Millionaire Next Door. It's kind of a revisit. We've talked about it in the past. It's something that often feels totally unattainable, especially for younger people who are looking at rising costs and thinking, well, how will I ever, retire with $1 million and live a comfortable retirement? And we're going to talk about that, what ordinary millionaires look like, because they look ordinary.
Yeah.
They don't look like the millionaires that you see in pop culture, and often they don't look like the people who appear to be millionaires, who maybe live in your community, who often are not millionaires, just have a lot of debt and don't own any of their stuff.
Live way beyond their means. It's interesting because, 33 years of helping people manage their financial affairs and retire successfully, I can't remember a single time when a Lamborghini was parked in our parking lot.
Yeah, not
But I can remember a lot of times this week that a pickup truck was parked in our parking lot.
Yep.
It is
Or a Accord, or
Honda Accord, or it's just
simple, practical.
Millionaires are not what people would like to think. And if you're watching social media or YouTube or something like that, the flashy millionaire type is not that is not reality.
Yeah. I mean, sure, you've got like the super, super wealthy celebrities and people who are, billionaires, and they've got crazy, crazy stuff. And they're in a category of their own. They have a certain image that they want to maintain or whatever it is. But for ordinary people, it can be discouraging when you go on, you see, the crypto bros or people going out and saying, oh, I made all this money day trading and that sort of thing. You get a little bit of FOMO, and they're driving cool cars or whatever, and you're like, that must be what it looks like. But the reality is that the real path that most of us take to become a millionaire is boring. It requires discipline and a lot of time.
And it's not about spending, it's about saving. And I remember the first 10 years after I graduated from high school, going back to high school reunions, and there was a lot of flash. It was which of our classmates was being the most successful. And it's it's really funny. The ones that have actually turned out to be the most successful were the ones you didn't expect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And who didn't tell you how successful they were.
Yeah.
Right. So they were under the radar for sure.
Yeah. It is interesting how that works. And, Dave Ramsey did some data collection a while back on millionaires and sort of trying to profile the ordinary millionaire next door. And what he found was interesting. There were a few data points that I thought we could talk about to kind of continue to paint this picture, because they were very ordinary people, very ordinary jobs, doing very ordinary things. It was boring. It took a long time, but it worked. And so first one was the top 5 careers. And some of them one of them especially, I was like, whoa, it was shocking.
Yeah.
Top 5 careers: engineer. Kind of makes sense. Engineers are well paid. Accountant, teacher, management, so middle manager, and lawyer. Notice crypto bro wasn't in that. Doctor wasn't even in there.
Or social media influencer was not in there.
Yeah. So,
but no doctors.
There's a lot of these people, and a lot of them have been evidently diligent. They've had a long-term view, and have just been consistent over a long period of time and patient. So
consistent in that they have lived below their means, focusing on saving more than spending.
Yeah. And consistently saving, taking advantage of retirement benefits that are available to them. So some of the key habits that were found was that, and factors, this is another striking one. I think a lot of people have the idea that if you're a millionaire, probably it's because you inherited money. Now that might be true for ultra wealthy people, which, and there are cases where it's not, founders of major businesses. But in this case, 79% of these people did not receive an inheritance, which is pretty amazing. These are people who, again, through that long path of discipline and patience and consistency, got there without any inheritance.
And that's borne out in our practice as financial planners. I mean, if we were to look at a cross section of the people who we work for, almost all of them have made the money themselves. They have not inherited it. And some of them, and the handful of people that we've worked for who've only had inherited money, those were some of the most difficult people to serve.
Yeah.
Right? Because they didn't earn, and they didn't save, and they hadn't developed those muscles, if you will, to be able to manage money effectively and manage their finances and spend less than they earn, and they burn through it.
Yeah.
It's really remarkable, actually. So
it requires
not everybody who inherits money, because a lot of people inherit some money.
Yeah.
And they probably do some good things with it. But inheritance is not the primary source of wealth for millionaires in this country. It just isn't.
Yeah. It comes from, 94% said they live on less than they make. 75% never carried a credit card balance. So this goes into another key thing. Debt. Debt is essentially promising your most valuable asset to a bank, right? Your income, your ability to earn income, or your human capital, as it's sometimes called. You're promising that away to a bank. Now, sometimes you have to do it. You can't really realistically save to buy a house and save for retirement. For most people, you need to borrow some money to do it.
Yeah, but debt is bondage. It talks about it in the Bible. The people who accumulate wealth learn how to manage debt successfully.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other key factor that I think is really important is time. Most of these people reported that they didn't get to $1 million net worth until they were in their 50s.
Yeah.
It is, especially if you're young. I know being on social media, hearing people have genuine concern about rising prices, housing market feels out of reach, some of these major milestones feel more difficult. And seeing, what you have saved doesn't seem to be growing very much, but it's important to trust the process, because
there is this parabolic effect that happens after you've been saving and investing for a while. If you look at over time what happens, as you're putting money away and saving into say a retirement account, a 401k or something, it seems like you're hardly getting anywhere. But at some point, there comes a time where the growth in the portfolio so far outpaces the amount that you put in each year that the growth of that portfolio goes parabolic, like a hockey stick, sort of.
Yeah.
And it goes just like this. So later in life, you can really see the value of that compounding effect.
And it's really just, it's just math. And if you work out the math, you say, okay, this makes sense. So you have these milestones. If you save $10,000 and you earn 10% in 1 year, that's $1,000. Can't live on $1,000, right? That changes when you get to $100,000. That $1,000 that you made on 10% return is $10,000 at that $100,000 milestone. And that just continues to happen. And as the balance grows, then you start to realize, oh, wow, my investments are doing the legwork, and my contributions to my investments are sort of more the insignificant part. But early on, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
All of the growth, almost all of it, is coming from your ability to save.
And at the same time that's happening, Archie, as your retirement savings is growing and then starting to go parabolic, that's at about the same time when that mortgage.
Yeah.
So you've paid all of the interest on the front end of that 30-year mortgage, and now in the last 5-7 years, almost every bit of that payment is going to pay down the principal. So while your portfolio is going parabolic in this way, your debt, if you have a mortgage, is starting to go down very quickly in the opposite direction. And so you get this really wonderful boost to your net worth as you get closer to retirement if you do it right.
Yeah, exactly. So it is. People say you have to be patient. It's, if you look at the math behind it, that it really, really is important, and not to be discouraged, because I know it can be easy to be discouraged.
Archie, there's a lot, as you know, on YouTube about people who are saying you shouldn't be investing in 401ks. Now, most of those people have some sort of insurance product that they're trying to sell you
for a course about real estate and getting rich on whatever.
Exactly.
Thing.
But really, the retirement account is where most of this investment net worth comes from, right? Where, a worker has put their savings and investments on autopilot, so it happens automatically, and they learn to live without the money that's going into that 401k. Plus, they're getting the match from the employer, most likely. So whatever it is that you're seeing on YouTube that's telling you not to maximize your 401k as soon as you can, don't believe it. You got to do it, because that is one of the major secrets to the millionaire next door success.
Yeah. A lot of the people who kind of bash on these sort of ordinary means of accumulating wealth and providing for yourself in retirement, they're like I said, they're almost always selling something. And this is sort of like don't do what all these normal people do that doesn't get you anywhere.
The masses, they're stupid.
The secret. Yeah, rich people, we've got the secret. But the secret is, I've got the secret to enrich myself and, to sell you some silly course. Not to say that every course you can find on the internet is bad, but so often it's like, well, there's some other motive there. But we know a lot of these people, and the 401k was invariably the number one most important way they got to be a millionaire and got to have a comfortable retirement. It was the most powerful tool, because it's the one that you usually start at your first job. You turn it on, you get the match, and then it's on autopilot, and it compounds and it compounds and it compounds, and all of a sudden you find yourself with a nice balance in it. Whereas, sure, you can go and take a lot of risk, and sometimes that pays off, and do something crazy. But don't sleep on these sort of quiet, sort of boring paths to wealth that have worked for many, many, many people.
Boring's good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's right. So,
So, of all of the habits that can help, avoiding debt, avoiding lifestyle creep. We've talked about that on the podcast before, where as your income goes up, your lifestyle goes up with it. Let your income, as it goes up, increase your savings rather than your lifestyle once you're at a comfortable level. Use the tools that are available. Use the 401k. Use if you can participate in a pension, if you're one of the rare folks that get to do that, take advantage of that. And be patient and take your time. Don't get discouraged if your investments seem like they're hardly doing anything at all.
Yeah, sometimes they won't do anything at all,
Yeah,
right?
sometimes they
It's
won't.
the
Sometimes
nature
they'll
of
do
it.
the opposite of what you want. Sometimes they'll go down in value.
Yeah.
Don't stop buying though. That's the time where your 401k contributions are most potent.
But if you want to be like the millionaire next door, you're probably going to not be very flashy.
Yeah.
You're going to live on less than you earn. You're going to find joy in watching your net worth increase every year. You're probably driving a pickup truck or an Accord or a car that's 8 or 9 years old.
Yep.
Right? You've got a house that's solid and provides the shelter that it needs, but it may not have all of the extra bells and whistles that your flashier friends have. And I can promise you, your flashier friends are probably the ones that are having the greatest difficulty with their finances.
Yeah. Yeah. Debt so often is what is behind those flashy items. And that'll take you down. That'll hold you back from being that millionaire next door, for sure. Well, I think that's about all we have time for today. We hope this is helpful to you. We hope you feel inspired to continue your financial journey and practice discipline and patience and hit your goals. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the bell for notifications so you know when we put out new content, and leave us a comment with your thoughts or any questions you have, and share it with your family and friends.
And if you want a synopsis of these millionaire next door ideas and characteristics, let us know and be happy to send it to you.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll look forward to seeing you next time. You've been watching Last Paycheck, weekly wisdom to help you retire and stay that way. If you like this show, be sure to hit like and subscribe. Last Paycheck is available anywhere you get your podcasts.